It's recording.
There we go.
Hey,
Hello.
those are magic
Marcela.
words.
Oh, did you hear the record button?
I heard recording in process.
Oh my God. We have already succeeded, Marcela.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, how are you doing? You're looking wonderful today.
Thank you. You guys too. I'm doing good. Nice to see you again.
Oh, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming back. We were stressing after finding out that never went through, and thank you so much for knowing what we were going through with having your own podcast and things happening all the time like that. So
Yes. I've experienced the dreadful, oh no, we just spent an hour talking and nothing was recorded.
yeah.
Yes. So
Yes.
I know your pain.
And we had such a good time with you. So we did prepare a lot of other stuff today. So it's not just the same old interview and all that, but we kind of
That's
wanted
great.
to. That's great.
And listen, my memory is horrible, so
I was
think
gonna
it's good that
say.
we took a month. I don't remember anything, so I think it's gonna be brilliant that we
It will.
waited, because it's gonna be all completely fresh and spontaneous again.
Absolutely. You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and this is Storytime with E.T.C, episode number 8. And we have a special guest today named Marcela Bovio. Everyone say hello.
Hello.
Marcela was born in Monterrey, Mexico on October 17th, 1979, and now she has been living in the Netherlands for the past 15 years almost.
That's completely true.
That is completely, so we're off to a good start then. And how are you and the cat monkey right now?
I am doing great. The weather in the Netherlands is unfortunately a little bit less nice than the last time that we talked. I think it's gray, rainy, but I'm always going on holidays, so I'm very happy about that. And Monkey is sleeping on my favorite chair, so I had to sit on the chair next to it.
Oh, and you say you're going on holidays?
Yes, I have a good friend who lives in Athens, so I'm going to go visit her for a little while. I'm very excited about that.
Oh, wow. Have you ever been to Greece?
I have been to Athens a couple of times, and to one island also as well, with some friends on holiday. Just brilliant. The people are lovely, the food is great, the weather is nice, and being with friends is always the best thing.
I'm glad you're going on holidays, because we watched your last Are We Better Friends Yet? And you were mentioning that you don't like to go on holidays alone. So it's good to know that you got a friend going to Greece with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be brilliant.
That's awesome. And how's your family doing?
My family's doing great. My sister is actually filming a new series now. She's an actress, maybe we talked about it last time, but
a little bit, yeah.
So apparently she's doing this very big series now in Mexico. So I'm very excited about her. And
wow.
Yeah. And my parents are doing great. I'm actually going to see them as well later. We're going to go on holiday together in October.
In October.
A lot of things have happened. Yes.
Yeah, you got a busy end of this year, don't you?
Yes, but very, very nice and exciting things. So it's all good.
Very exciting. So we should definitely get right into that stuff. We call you the X Factor because there's so many things that you do for so many different people, as well as yourself, as well for us, as well for all of our fans. Marcela, I don't think you realize how much you're loved with us and our channel. What you mean to us, what you bring to us. Like, there's so many levels to it, so we really appreciate this. And your new EP, The Beautiful Warrior, what it's about has a lot to do with our relationship. I feel it had that little fissure moment at the beginning where we met each other, then we didn't get the goods from it, but now we're back and we're ready to make it even better, right?
Excellent.
Yeah, so we're gonna do this in a little bit of segments, because I know you like your segments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sounds like a good plan.
So one thing I did forget to mention is currently right now you are with Stream of Passion, Mayan, Ayreon, and Dark Horse Whitehorse. Are those the 4 main projects that you're a part of right now?
Yes, and I guess I would include my solo project as well, because I'm also actively recording music for myself. But
nice.
so busy busy schedule. Yeah.
Busy schedule.
Wow. Okay. So before we get into the music, I wanted to just ask something really quick for you. How has living in the Netherlands changed your personality since coming from Mexico?
Ah, that's very interesting. I'm not sure if it has living here has changed me per se. I think it's made me more aware of
Oh,
how I am and how people around me behave and how that impacts like the way I feel and my mood. I know that people in Mexico, generally speaking, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say that everyone is like that, but I think in Mexico we tend to be a little bit more open, a little bit more easily accessible, I would say. You know, when you meet someone, it's most probably, especially if there's a beer involved, that by the end of the evening you already know like
yeah.
their whole life story, and you're, you know, like invited to their house and, you know, to stay over and, you know, have dinner or whatever. And I think in the Netherlands it takes a little bit longer before people like, you know, like
Drop the wall in a way.
yeah, before you can melt the ice. So I think that's something that um that became very obvious for me when I moved here, and it made me realize like, oh, I always sort of like um counted on the people that were near me to always like pull me out and, you know,
Right.
like, you know, take me out of my comfort zone and my shell and, you know, like do things. So I think
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah.
No kidding. And from the people that I've met in Mexico, they're very upfront, very happy. They're always sharing their life story. And I haven't really met anyone from the Netherlands and per se, but I know everyone says they're a little more straight to the point and don't sugarcoat
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
But
That's definitely true. Something that I have learned to appreciate a lot, I have to say, you know, the fact that, you know, people are very honest and very direct indeed, and they will tell you things like exactly like they are, which
Yeah.
is, you know, very different from Mexican people. We tend to, you know, be like sugarcoat things and be overly polite, and maybe we won't tell you all the exact truth if it
Yeah.
means that we are
Might
not going to
offend.
offend you, you know, like, yeah. So, but there's something also very nice in extreme honesty, I suppose. You always know what you're up to with people.
Yeah, and it's easier to self-reflect when someone's telling you the honest truth as well. So, like you said, you
Yeah.
did gain a lot from that. So, thanks for that answer. And something you also told me, Marcela, which is something I learned as an interviewer now, is when interviewing artists, you'd like to talk, obviously, about the music that you're doing right now. I get caught up too much about history sometimes. So I want to talk about what you're doing right now first for our first segment. And obviously, the Stream of Passion EP is coming out September 9th. That's super exciting. It's called
Yay.
Beautiful Warrior, which I think is a great title for what you have gone through and for everyone else that wants to be their own beautiful warrior. You also have September 8th and 9th. You're performing in Eindhoven for Stream of Passion. So that's coinciding with the release of the album. And then I'm guessing that everyone's going to get to hear all 5 tracks that are at the concert. And then we all have to wait till after the concert to hear the other 3 tracks.
Well, you know, the release is on the same day of the second show, so
Right.
hopefully it'll be almost at the same time. But I'm not sure if we're going to play all of the new tracks, to be honest.
Right.
Making a set list for that show has been a nightmare because they're, you know, we're also doing this because, you know, we missed it, and the whole COVID lockdown made us realize, you know, how important the bond that we had with our listeners is, and how much we missed it.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, we have, I don't know, like this amount of time. How many songs can I fit in there? And it's been, I've had to narrow the list down way more than I wanted to, because we know we want to make everyone happy. So I know what people are expecting, and so it's going to be problematic. Yeah.
It's a good problem to have, though, right?
I guess, yeah. So but I think we've settled. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to disclose that information
That's
at the
cool.
moment, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we're going to play all of the new tracks, unfortunately. Yeah.
But hey, very exciting. And you already sold it out. And that's like sold out very fast, isn't it? Like a day or two?
Yes. So actually, we had planned first to just do one show on September 9, and we sold it out in 5 hours, and that was including that our website crashed.
Oh, wow.
Because we had, yeah, that was incredible. I was in full panic, by the way, because I am the one that takes care of the website, and I had absolutely no idea that people are going to respond like that. So the site crashed like in 15 minutes after the time that we had announced that the pre-sale was going to start. So I'm like frantically calling the hosting service, like, please help me. And they were super mad at me because I hadn't told them that we were going to do like a crowdfunding ticket sale, which is something that, you know, normally demands a lot of activity from a server. So they were a little bit pissed at me, but they did help me. So it was
like, we're gonna help you, but here's a scolding on it at the same time.
Yeah, they weren't happy. They weren't happy, and they had to like cut a lot of access for me. So for for like 5 hours, I don't know exactly how they did it, because I, you know, don't know all of the ins and outs of like Linux servers and stuff. But they basically, like, I think they put like a super hard, for the nerds out there, they put like a really hard cache on the site, so that it would function, but that would mean that I wasn't able to access the back end of the site. So we had no idea how it was going till 5 hours later, when we're like, okay, yeah, it's sold out. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh my gosh.
So stressful. Yeah.
Well, it's here. It's coming. It's not here yet. It is coming, and we're gonna label the 5 tracks that you have so everyone can know. So the first track is The Hunter, which we have reacted to, and we're gonna dive into that more. Number 2 is Tonight. Number 3 is Chasing a Ghost. Number 4 is The End is the Beginning, which was amazing, by the way. And number 5 was, you're welcome. Number 5 was The Promise. You have videos out for The Hunter and The End is the Beginning. We did talk about The Hunter a little bit on our last interview, but since we all have amnesia, we can talk about it a little bit more now. It's been almost out for 2 months now. It came out June 8th, and it's already over 35K views on YouTube, and I'm sure doing well on other streaming platforms. Where's other places that we can support this EP other than just buying the disc or YouTube?
Well, listen, if you want to go bananas and listen to it on all of your favorite digital platforms, go ahead. You can find it everywhere. It's on Spotify. It's on, well, I don't know all of the names of the platforms, but they're there. And then you can also listen to it, and you know, pre-order the EP also if you feel like it. So
awesome.
Right on. So let's go into The Hunter. Alanna here is going to ask some questions for this one.
Yeah, so The Hunter was a beautiful, beautiful track. I absolutely loved your video that you had going along with it, how you had all the magic, you had like the witch who was doing all her protection spells and everything that was in there. I thought that was such a beautiful imagery to have with this this hunter who was hunting his prey, who was this woman, who was this witch who's trying to protect herself from this evil wizard entity thing. And in our last interview, you had mentioned that this song had been kind of inspired by like love bombing and some of those aspects that you had experienced as well. So a couple questions that we have with being loved bombed and possessive relationships. Have you been in bad possessive relationships before? And if so, how did that what did that teach you about yourself?
I think it has definitely, because I suppose, nothing, gladly too abusive or in any sense, I have to admit. Good. But it's something that I have seen in myself and also in people that I know, you know, other women in my life that have been in similar situations. And I think it has taught me that Well, I think for the longest time, and this is a topic that I think I touch in different points of this EP. I grew up with the idea, very traditional in Mexico, that basically your role as a woman and your whole purpose in life as a woman is to find a man, marry him, bear his children, and that's pretty much what all that there is for you. And for some weird reason, well, mostly because my mom is a feminist icon, even though she doesn't really know it. But
oh wow,
yes, but from a very young age, I already had the idea, like, well, maybe I don't want that. What if I want something else? And that's something. I got the message very early in my life, like, well, no, that's not really how this works. I mean, this is a path that you have to take. I don't know if you know this, but I was actually I was raised Catholic, although not very, very, rigid. But I was in Catholic school when I was in elementary school, so I was with the nuns, and they were very,
wow, very strict,
very strict,
and like this is your purpose in life. So growing with that idea, it's very hard to step out of having a certain expectation of a relationship. And I think that having that expectation has led me to sometimes maybe not have to do the smart choices, or like take smart choices.
It made you a bit more rebellious in a way,
or sometimes accept that something's not working anymore. Sometimes be willing to confront people in certain situations, leave certain situations that are not optimal.
Right.
So that's the lesson that I've learned, but it's part of a way bigger thing and a way bigger theme that I think I also talk about in these songs, is that
you do definitely
self-acceptance and focusing on oneself and being able to really look inwards and be kind to ourselves is also very important. When you if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? This, as RuPaul says. So I think that is something that I definitely learned. Also
self-advocation.
How
to advocate for yourself correctly in those difficult moments, both from your upbringing and then how you've been in relationships with seeing other people, what they've gone through as well.
Absolutely. Very long answer to your question, I realized, by the way.
We love the long answers because we love the chat too. And like traditional roles is very hard for a lot of people. Like even our son right now, he doesn't like sports, and we always want to try to push him into sports, but he's just not about that. So we need to learn, like, no, we don't need to just force this like stereotype on him. He can go and find out what he's actually passionate about, right?
I think that's amazing. And if you feel totally identified with a standard, like gender role or, whatever society, I think everything is fine, like everything should be feel totally happy and comfortable, doing whatever they want. It's just being imposed an idea, I think, can also be very detrimental to one's upbringing.
I completely agree with that, because for myself, I wasn't raised Catholic, but I was also raised Christian. So growing up with a similar aspect, there's a lot of preconceived things that are pushed on you that you end up rebelling against in many ways when it's so harshly pushed into as when you're young and growing up.
There's one thing I wanted to say that you brought up, and I wanted to make sure we said something about this. You said your mom's a feminist icon and she doesn't know about it. How so?
Well, I don't know if she would consciously, advert or present herself that way, but I think she, unfortunately, and well, I hope I'm not, saying too much, but I think she has gone through a lot of pretty shitty things in her life. And in moments she has had to really advocate for herself in an environment where no one did that for her. And I think it's very remarkable to be able to have that instinct of rebellion and be able to say like, no, I'm not going to be treated less because I'm a woman. I'm not going to be, like always put as a second class citizen against my male siblings. And it's something that completely sparked out of her own self, like I had her as inspiration, but she just like it came from her. And I think that's amazing, like I think I'm able to do a lot of things, and I dare to do a lot of things, play in metal bands and stuff like that, because I had fantastic examples of women who were doing it, like sort of like taught me that it was allowed, that I could do this. And so the fact that she could overcome a lot of these really horrible things on her own without having that sort of like role model, I think that's incredible.
Absolutely.
So she was the first beautiful warrior of your life then?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
That's amazing. Going into the next question here, with Hunter, you ended the music video with the woman, the witch, she was grabbed by the throat by the man who was trying to find her, who she was getting protection from. The lyrics at this said, "When you grabbed me by the throat, I fell under your spell." Did these lyrics come from anything that you have witnessed or experienced, or are you able to see red flags easier with what you've experienced and how this song represented?
I would like to say that I do. However, that has to be yet proven in the future. Listen, the thing is that I am still quite a romantic, and I wanna, like, I love feeling in love, and I love the butterfly. So it might be that but I hope so. I think that's my final answer. I hope so.
That I like to say the same thing. I know when I was listening to The Hunter and that lyric came on, "When you grabbed me by the throat, I fell under your spell," it definitely gave me like 50 Shades of Grey kind of vibes, or like when there is something that, speaking as a woman, there is something that can be very attractive about like the power that you see in some of these romanticized videos, like 50 Shades of Grey, where they kind of romanticize abuse in a negative, in a negative way. And so like, I know growing up for myself, these negative things that women are seeing, such as like being grabbed by the throat in a lot of these videos, is almost like a spell in a way. And so I was just definitely losing my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Like the main thing that we were trying to like see is like there's something attractive to that being controlled and all that from these hunter-like people that we see, and sometimes we're in a more vulnerable state when we're searching for that love, and then when you get love bombed, but there's something wrong about this.
You realize it was a spell and not love in its actuality.
Yeah, and I think for me it's not so literal, but definitely the in the track of very clearly ignoring something that you think like, this is probably not good for me, but so it doesn't have to be necessarily that's a certain kind of action, but those things that I think all of us pretty much can sense from the beginning, when something is a little bit icky, when you see a little red flag waving in the distance, like, oh, that could be orange, far away.
It's red flag, it's fine,
It looks more fuchsia to me.
Exactly. I'm gonna let you.
Of course. So with the song The Hunter, with the feedback that you have, I'm sure, heard, is there something that you have been shocked by from feedback or support for this song that you were not expecting?
Well, I mean, it's all been just very nice and very positive. I don't think, I mean, it's not that you expect that, but I mean, you hope for that, right? So nothing that comes to mind is particularly shocking, though, I have to say. Just very pleased that people are happy. That I think we knew that this song, and I think in general the EP, is something that for people who already know us was going to be a very welcome thing. You know, it's very much in the vein of what we did before.
Yeah.
However, I'm not necessarily about the Hunter, but I did read a comment that I was happy to read about this material sounding very much in vein to what we did before, but definitely more mature.
Yeah.
And a little bit sad. She said.
I saw that comment too, yeah.
Like maybe there's some truth to it, because there is a depth, maybe, and a certain vulnerability that maybe wasn't there before, because I think these songs are definitely way more transparent and more honest in a way that I couldn't really allow myself to be before, because it's nice to wrap things in a metaphor and not be so
literal,
vulnerable, you know?
Yeah, and you've gone through so much, so like you said, all these stories are feeling so real, and like you said, maybe it wasn't so literal with the choking thing, but because it's coming off as so real, that's why we're taking this so literally, even though I know a lot of your message are for everyone else as well, because transitioning now to the end is the beginning, you talk a lot in third person in that. But by the way, I just love the song. I think the way it starts with that guitar, how it has the melody of you singing, like it already catches you right at the beginning. Your makeup, I know you're not big into makeup or talking about it, but that makeup that Lita did for you was top-notch, incredible. And real quick, how long did that process take, and how many recordings were there for that scene?
So we did. Thank you, by the way. I was very pleased with how that came out as well. We had the session where we took the photo for the cover of the EP, as well as filmed that video. And I think we started with Lita started like just painting black all over my shoulders to test how it would look on camera, and we spent like 2 hours doing that like basic version, and then we did some test shots with the photographer. I was like, no, well, we have to fill this in, and we have to fill this in, and this has to be a little bit darker, and this has to be a little bit darker. So at some point she was like just jamming the makeup brush with black paint in my ear, because you could see when I was going to move, maybe for the photo it wasn't going to be such a big deal, but if I was going to be moving, and you would see, everything's very dark, the only thing that sticks out is the gold and my eyes, I suppose. But if you would see like a spot in my ear, it was incredibly distracting. So she really had to go she had to go in everywhere. I kept finding black paints in like 4 showers afterwards. Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
I think all in, we're probably working on it for like 4 hours.
Okay, that's less than I thought, so that's pretty incredible, actually. Yeah.
No, but she's amazing. She's amazing. She was very quick, and she thought of everything, because she had like the gold paint was like a very special gold paint that was really reflective, so you can really see it in the images and in the video. And she also had like gold foil that she put. I don't know if you can really see it on the video, but there was like also like almost like a half mask on my eye made of gold leaf that it was on top of the paint. It was very beautiful.
Was very beautiful.
It turned out so amazing, and you were moving so much in that song, in that music video, where I'm used to seeing you being a backup vocalist or just like a vocalist with the mic right in front of you, but you were able to like flow and move so much and embody all the lyrics that were being said. And like you said, then she had to get your back, because it wasn't just a front picture, and it was amazing. So I think you guys did incredible there, and it's already almost at 4,000 views already, and it's only been out for a few days.
Nice.
So congrats on that.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it so much, but this song I really think represents our relationship so much because of the fissure that has happened. And kintsugi art was part of the inspiration for this, which I think you're the best human body kintsugi art that I've seen on Google, at least. So,
well, there's some really amazing things out there. I
really
Googled
is.
a lot, you know, when we're looking at it. And I've seen these women, like, they're paint like China, you know, like with the adornments and everything. Like, I'm not gonna ask Lita to do that because it's gonna take forever. Yeah, but thank you.
You're welcome. You were the metal version of it, so that's why I was
Yes,
all black.
exactly.
And I also took, like, this is reflecting on real life rebirth, like on top of the kintsugi art. Do you enjoy Japanese culture a lot? Was this just a specific art that you liked, or is the Japanese culture itself something that in the traditions of Japan that you really admire?
I really do like a lot of the philosophies that they have, you know, like kintsugi. And I think there is this is gonna come across very dumb because I don't remember. There is a bigger like movement, the philosophy that kintsugi is part of, that I think it's called wasi wasi, or yeah, that might not be right. So but the fact that you know, that you know, this idea of accepting the passage of time and honoring and appreciating the tear and wear of an object, and valuing it more because of that is something that I think is very, very beautiful, you know, especially nowadays where we live in this world of social media. Don't get me wrong, I love social media. I watch a lot of it, a lot of cat videos, but it does present an image of the world that can be quite irrealistic, you know, this image of perfection that is not real, but somehow we all buy into. So something focusing on honoring, you know, just something in its entirety, you know, with its flaws, its defects, and its struggles. I think that's a beautiful idea.
It is a beautiful idea, and Alanna here is the only person that has taken my scars and my badges of honor, because I was actually in a community/cult where my name was Gary, actually, and my name's Kyle now, as you know, and I live in Calgary. So what's cool is we've now moved together. We have a kid together. Now we're in Calgary. So she has my past and my present, and she's actually accepted me for it finally, where I've never had anyone that could do that. So like you're saying, that the Japanese philosophy of kintsugi art really resonates a lot with me too, because I was always scared to show my gold fissures, simply said.
Right. Yeah. And it's but you know, I understand that it's not an easy process, because it does you know, if we like transpose it to what it would mean for us as people, it does imply that you have to be able to be vulnerable, you know, in a way to people. And I think that's been one of the biggest lessons that I've learned by going through, you know, the many shitty things that I've gone through. But I think that we've all gone through pretty dark times, you know, with the lockdown. It's been hard on quite a lot of us. And I think the moment that you allow yourself to be vulnerable, which is a very brave step, then you give room for other people, but also most importantly yourself, to accept you know, the little broken parts and the damage, and treasure it, because I am now, and I really love that I'm able to say that every single piece of crappy things that I've gone through have given me something in return, you know. I wouldn't have certain artistic sensitivity that I have if it wasn't because I went through some shitty times, you know, when I was younger, stuff like that. So every dark part has definitely a light side that we can learn from. And I know it sounds very short-sighted to just say it like that, but I do believe it.
I believe it too, and you have to live it, and loving yourself is the beginning part of that. And you've really helped me with that too, with expressing what you've gone through and how open you were, even with your cancer and everything that you have gone through. So thank you for being so open, because it makes other people be open and be more lovable. So on top of this, you're going to start getting more of a Japanese influx of fans with your kintsugi art. Do you want to know how to say your name in Japanese?
I do. I'm actually going to go to Japan next year, just on a holiday. Yes, so that's amazing.
Can I teach you just how to say, hi, my name is Marcela?
Yes, please.
Okay, so hi is konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
And then now we're going to say, my name is watashi no.
Watashi no.
Namae wa.
Namae wa.
So try watashi no namae wa.
Watashi no namae wa.
Yep. And then Marcela des. So watashi no namae wa Marcela des.
Watashi no namae wa Marcela des.
Perfect.
Yes.
And then start with konnichiwa if you want to say hi first, but maybe you don't want, right?
Okay. Konnichiwa. Oh, shit, I forgot already. Watashi no.
Watashi no.
Watashi no.
Namae wa.
Namae wa Marcela des.
Yes.
Watashi no namae wa Marcela des.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to listen back to this a couple of times.
Well, it's recorded, so you'll be able to check it this time.
I'm glad the button is on.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So that was to lighten up the mood a little bit. And now we're going to talk about some of your lyrics in this song. I thought there were some really powerful lyrics, and I wanted to get your interpretation, because we have our own interpretation as well.
Cool.
So question, I can't live without her. Can you elaborate? Is this third person? Is this first person? I was thinking you're talking about you can't live without your old self in the old pieces of like your past and your history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's I can live without her is I think a sort of like hymn of self-compassion or self-acceptance. Like I accept everything that I have been and that I am right now. I think that's exactly what I meant.
Perfect. And the beginning of the song has that guitar that's like literally, it almost is saying like, I can't live without her, like in the guitar lick. And I just love when music can say the lyrics with the instruments, and then the lyrics comes on top of it. I think that layering is one of my favorite. That's like what Dream Theater does a lot. I don't know if you know that band, but so good for you on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So next question, next lyrics. So these scars will be her badge of honor. What has been your hardest obstacle to overcome?
Oh God.
Oh God, I know.
My well, biggest obstacle to overcome. I have always had a crippling need for perfectionism and an imposter syndrome that goes way deep. So I think that has been my biggest obstacle. I like I said, I think every negative has a positive.
Yes.
I've never felt good enough for pretty much anything, but that has given me the gift of perseverance. So
yeah.
In thinking, oh, well, I don't know if I can do this well enough. You dig into things and you just learn stuff like crazy. In my case, was practicing singing for ages till you get really good, you know. Just the perfectionism has a bright side that it's given me the ability to like be disciplined and work on something really hard.
Yeah.
But it does come with a nice side dish of insecurity and not daring to do a lot of things that I've really wanted to do. So
wow, you mentioned that you had imposter syndrome as well. That was one of the questions we were going to ask you, is like, do you ever feel that? And you mentioned that. And for us, the layman over here, we're like, are you sure you do? Like, you're kicking ass. You're with so many different bands. Like, we don't see that side, but we only see the roses sometimes on the social media. Maybe we don't see, like, for instance, I was literally walking in this room for an hour before our interview. So you're not going to see me like pacing before the interview, because I get nervous. I really appreciate what we're doing. I respect the time of the people that we're interviewing. And so we don't see what Marcela's going through before she's going on concert or anything like that. Or maybe when Ayreon phoned you back in 2003, you're like, do I really deserve this? But I'm going to go with it.
yeah, 100%. Like 1,000%. If it wasn't because a friend of mine really, his name is Ian, and everything that I make, I still send him like personally, you know,
Wow.
like all of the music that I make, because he literally convinced me to send Ayreon my music.
Wow.
Because I told him like, what? Come on, like that. There's no use. Why would I ever do that? That is literally what happened. And he, you know, taught me into it, and I did. And if it wasn't for that, this, you know, we wouldn't be here talking. So
no. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's incredible, because even asking for an interview for you, I had so many people shutting me down saying you'd say no and all that, and we're not big enough or something like that. So it took some real courage to put myself out there. And again, that's why I'm so thankful that after screwing up the first one, you're still coming back and being so happy and so enthusiastic to still go through the run with us. So thank you. Like, you literally embody your art, and I think that's the best thing about you, is that you're actually embodying your art. You're not just saying it. That's why I'm taking everything so literally with your lyrics too, because like I feel like I'm just listening to you, especially with the Stream of Passion. It feels so close to your heart. So the next one here, you're welcome. Also, I know you love your fantasy, and scars are like things that are your badge of honor. Do you ever watch Outlander?
I haven't.
Please go check this out.
Yes.
Please.
You're not the first person to tell me this, so I'm gonna have to put it on my list.
It took a while for me to get him to watch it, and I highly recommend it, because there are a lot of aspects physically with like real scars, but also those emotional scars that I think you embody a lot in, especially in your Beautiful Warrior, that are just so well produced in this film, that I think with your love of fantasy, because I know you also love like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and all of those things that are very magical and mysterious, that you'll get with the realness that Outlander has to offer, that's not so whimsical in many ways.
Right. That's very cool. I'm gonna have to check it out now.
And there's some nice romance in there.
Yes, and your romance, so your romantic bug will also get a tickle.
Excellent.
Yeah, I only was asking there because he gets flogged so much, and part of his scars is like the battle cry for the Scotland rising up against the English, and that's kind of the time frame it's in. So really definitely check it out if you get a chance. But
cool.
Next lyric, and this was something you were talking about, actually, about roles of like identity with being a woman. And now that you've talked about this really enlightens me with this lyric. Until a conqueror grants you his name, which is one of the last lyrics that you use at the end of The End is the Beginning. And it's also talking about how you only have like half a heart. People are going to tell you only have half a heart if you don't have this guy that then claims your name. So my question on that amazing lyric is, what lessons have you learned that have given you the strength to grant yourself your own name?
I would have to say just I think again, being vulnerable and being able to talk about it, and you know, fortunately, unfortunately, I know a lot of I have a lot of women in my life who are in similar positions. Friends that I know from back in Mexico and were brought up in a similar way. So this is something that we talk about a lot, and the way of that we now have to sort of like redefine our lives, and give ourselves permission to, like explore life maybe in a different way. So I guess that's basically what has made me sort of like what has made it okay, knowing that there are more people that are feeling the same way that I do, and also, being very aware of the fact that that there's much more than that, in the sense that I now feel that I have this like quite a nice group of people around me, some here, some way over there, but that I can really, really rely on and really open myself to, and that's like invaluable. And that is something that I didn't cherish enough before,
Right.
being in a relationship and trying to rely a little bit too much on that relationship. So I definitely learned that it takes a village, like it
does.
that having a sense of community and having a group of people around you that you can rely on and that can support you. That's the most important thing. And for me, it has translated. I would die for my friends. Like anything that I can do to help them, to support them, like no questions asked, I will be for them, whatever happens.
Yeah, and you have such a great community, even of teachers. Like you're part of the Metal Factory and you're a vocal coach there. So like I'm sure even that community and everyone that you're teaching, and like I'm surprised it's been going already for 10 years. Like it shows how much. I always confuse why the metal scene is so dominant in Europe, and it's for places like yourself where you're part of this amazing university where everyone can learn how to make this incredible music, because there's not this type of music over in Canada where we're from. Like really, there really isn't, and it's not getting pushed, at least. So your type of music, it's really inspiring for us. That's why it was so shocking at first with the symphonicness of it on top of the metal, because we've heard our thrash metal over here, but there's a beauty that you can see with it, because we always thought metal was beautiful, but with your music, it's, I think, allowing more people to enjoy the metal, where before everyone just thought it was rockers and just, drinking and all that stuff. So
just violence.
And all that. What's up, hon?
I have a question actually relating to that, because you have mentioned that you were brought up in the Catholic school, Catholic community, very religious in your upbringing. For myself, with the religious upbringing, metal music was not allowed. Like there was no metal, there's no rock, like it's frowned upon at the deepest level. So with having that Catholic upbringing, did that push you to rebel a little bit to get more into metal, or what brought you into the metal scene, with it being such a juxtaposition from your upbringing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was just I started to listen to rock, when I was in my teens, and it started, like all very low key, Cranberries, Alanis Morissette,
Yes.
and some Spanish speaking rock bands. I don't know if you've ever heard of Los Héroes del Silencio, this band from Spain, and Soda Stereo, and Mexican bands as well. And I think it was just my friends. I think I had There was this no, but there was this radio show in the middle of the night in Monterrey, where I come from, called Distorsión, and I remember that I just turned on the radio in the middle of the night on a Sunday, I guess, night, and there was this song. I mean, it was metal, but it was very slow and very dramatic and very emotional. It had violence in it. I'm like, what is this? I love this.
Yeah.
And it was and it was Celestial Season. It's a very unknown band from the Netherlands, actually, funny enough.
Oh, wow.
And I recorded it, because you used to do that. You used to
with the tape
record on a
recorder.
cassette tape. And I
Yeah.
recorded it, and I was like, wow. And I showed this to one of my friends, and he was like, oh, well, if you like this kind of music, then maybe you would like Dream Theater. And so it's
Oh, wow.
just like one thing led to another. And it's basically because of my group of friends that I started listening to more metal. And I started tuning into that show more often, and then I would more often hear things that I really liked, like all very obscure stuff, by the way. It's like this band called The Third and Immortal from Norway. One of the
I've
first
heard of
metal
them.
bands ever to have female vocals in them.
Oh, wow.
So this is very beautiful, very dramatic, also very doomy, but very emotional stuff. And I've always been attracted to music that's like super emotional, like it's
Yes.
very dramatic because, Latin. So whether I think that's how it started, and I mean, at some point I must have had a very metal t-shirt that my mom didn't like, but they were very, they really let us do whatever we wanted. I hope so. So it was okay. She did say that she didn't like it, but that was the end of the story. And luckily I had very nice friends who were very protective of the girls in the group, and we would go together to concerts and stuff like that, so it all felt very safe for them, so it was okay. Yeah,
that's awesome. So you had a great community that helped set the fire that you already had and just build it stronger for you to kind of get into that. That's amazing.
Real quick, Marcela, I heard our two kids out here. I'm just gonna see if they're okay real quick. Okay,
sure.
Okay.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone now. I think he changed the diaper. All right.
Yeah, I could hear him struggling. Our 13-year-old is babysitting our 6-month-old, and he's having to change diapers, and sometimes he struggles.
We're so lucky.
We're so lucky.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. That's so nice that he helps.
Yes.
Well, he wanted a sibling right when I met her. He's like, you better get me a sibling.
He's like, I want a brother.
That's so nice. And you have a 6-month-year-old?
6 months, yes.
Oh, congrats.
We'll show you all of her at the end, okay?
Cool.
Yeah, and Avery.
Call them in.
So just to kind of end this segment, on the Stream of Passion, before we move on, you have your show coming, you have your album coming, you already got 2 of your singles out, you have 3 left. I'm sure there's not any more coming out before the CD comes out.
No, I don't think so. So it's just now all the way to the release, and then all in one go.
Right. Wow. So that's going to be amazing. I'm very excited for that. Do you know if you guys are like filming it? Is it going to be become a DVD or anything like that, or?
We are filming it, actually, because we promised all of our backers in our campaign that if we reach the stretch goal, that everyone would get to see it. So there's definitely going to be a recording. I don't know if we would release it on DVD, but we're definitely going to do something with that, even if it's just that you can watch it online.
Yeah, that's super exciting for us. Because we live in Canada, it's hard for us to make it over to Europe. We would be to all these things if we could. That's exciting for us. And so that was segment number 2. We're going to segment number 3 now. We're going to talk about the Ayreon concert that's coming up.
Yeah.
That's super exciting because that's actually how we first saw you, Marcela, was through the Ayreon Universe concert. I was doing song by song, got to see you being the backup vocalist for that. That was incredible. So these concerts are in Tilburg. And you guys are doing the 7th studio album, which is 01011 001.
That one.
That one. So you're doing it in its entirety. And for people that don't know what this album is about, the theme's about the story of aliens called the Forever that made humans and have taught them knowledge and technology that's endangering them. So I think that's really cool, especially with the news that have gone out in this world about the aliens talking with people in America and all that. So I think that's a really fun, cool topic to do. Your storytelling is incredible with Ayreon as well. You have 4 days that this concert's going to go through. You have a dress rehearsal on September 14th.
Yes.
You have one show on the 15th. And then on the 16th and 17th, you got 2 shows, one of them being a matinee.
Yeah.
So, wow. Are people coming to the dress rehearsal then too, or?
I think so. I think there's a very limited sort of VIP-ish kind of ticket. So,
wow.
Yeah, very exciting.
That is exceptional. So that's literally the week after you do your Stream of Passion tour. So that's you go, girl.
Gonna be like an all-time high. And, it's gonna be so much fun. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit stressful because I mean, there's a lot to prepare. There's a lot of material to prepare. And for instance, Jon, who is also in Stream of Passion, he is also performing at the area shows, and
the bassist, right?
us, the bass player of the band, yes. And for me and the other backing vocalists, I mean, of course, it's a lot of work, but it is not nearly as much work as for the band because the music is incredibly complex.
Oh my gosh!
And very intricate, and with a lot of unexpected turns. So they've been working very hard, but it's gonna be. I've heard some recordings from the band already, and it's immaculate. It's amazing.
Well, like you said with our last interview, that Ayreon is a perfectionist himself, like you, and he makes sure everyone knows their role, what they're doing. So at least, even if you are a bit overworked with your own side stuff, like you at least know what you're doing for Ayreon.
And when everyone comes on stage, it's
all pure joy. You guys are such a family, such a friendship. It's really, that's what attracted me the most to it. Like just seeing everyone looking at each other while performing. You all are like top-notch talented in your own rights, but like everyone gives enough shine for each other. That drummer is one of my favorite drummers ever. He's incredible. And
it's just, I mean, it's incredible. It's otherworldly talent. And I think we talked about this before, but it's not only is everyone involved incredibly talented and incredibly well prepared. So the moment that you're on stage, it's just about the enjoyment.
Yeah,
but besides that, everyone is super nice. You're like, and this, and some of these people, for instance, I really admire. There's people there that are just incredible musicians, incredible singers. So it's just such a joy. And the people are so happy. Everyone is happy. Everyone is friendly.
Yeah.
The whole city is filled with Aeronauts. So everywhere you go, everyone is wearing an Ayreon t-shirt. So it just feels brilliant. It's just it's just like a friendly Ayreon city for like a week, and it's incredible.
And there's nothing fake about it too. Like that's what you can see through the video. It's like, wow, these people love each other, and like they just love to perform for each other. And the reason why we call you the X Factor has a lot to do with this quote from Ayreon Lucassen himself. He says, "I can't imagine putting a show on without involving Marcela. She's simply the best."
That's so nice.
And we all know how many amazing singers have been with Ayreon. Floor, for instance, Annika, for instance. But for you, I think you were shining the most. Like even on the Valleys of Queens, when the three of you were singing together, I thought you were shining so much in there. Something about your contrast with anyone, because I heard Floor before. So like how you can complement so many different styles of singing. I think that's because of your perfectionism. That's why Ayreon doesn't even want to do one of these shows without you. So that's incredible for us because we know how talented he is, and that must be amazing for you to know too.
It is, absolutely. It's such an honor, and I owe him my whole career. So it's just such a joy. I mean, if it wasn't for him and Stream of Passion, again, I wouldn't be here. So it's just an honor and a privilege, and so much fun to be able to work with him every time. And it's great. I'm
It's been
super
2
happy.
decades. Like, can you believe it's already been 2 decades?
I know. The last time that we met, I told him, like, oh my God, I am as old as you used to be the first time that we met.
Wow.
Because when we met, I was 23 and he was 43. And now I'm 43 and he's 63.
He's 63?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I should be saying this. Just bleep the ages. Especially the way you told when I was born in the beginning. That's not going to work.
That's usually when people retire, but now he wants to be on performing now, and he's got the courage to go and perform now. Good for him.
I think neither of us is willing to admit that we have the age that we have, and
I don't think anyone's willing to admit how old they are.
Well, as you see just how fun you have even talking about Ayreon, this might be a really hard question to answer, but who do you think is the funniest Ayreon member? Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, there's quite a few. And this time, I think all hell is going to break loose because we have Irene Jansen on backing vocals, who is a riot.
Oh, really?
And I cannot stop laughing with that woman. She is incredible. And Marianne Wellman, who also sings in the album, she sings E=MC² together with Woodstick. She is also a riot. We have had some shows together. Back in 2019, we did backing vocals together for Demons and Wizards on some festivals. And we've had so much fun. So and I don't think they know each other. And I have this feeling that when those two come together, there's just gonna be like a nuclear explosion of silliness and laughter, which is gonna be, And I mean, and of course you've seen, she's not gonna be here this time, but Diana, who is also one of my best friends, Diana van Giersbergen, also had a riot when we did the Into the Electric Castle shows together. It was just incredible. So yeah, those ladies are gonna bring on the funk.
That is awesome.
They bring the funk.
They're bringing the funk. Speaking of the funk, I don't know if you could answer this for me. One of the guitarists from Universe, who had the kind of longer hair and very expressive with his guitar playing.
Yes, Marcel Koene.
Is Marcel the one who's doing the guitar for this show?
Yes. Actually, this show, it's going to be utter madness because Marcel is going to be there and Timo Somers is going to be there, who plays in Supersonic Revolution who used to play in the Lane.
Yeah.
And they are both incredible.
Good. Oh, that's great.
So I can't say anything. I was about to spoil something for you, but I shouldn't. But let's just say it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible.
We're trying to get those nuggets. No, I'm joking. That's amazing. So after 20 years since Ayreon actually reached out to join Ayreon, what has been one of your fondest memories while performing and also off stage?
Oh God. Okay. Accessing the memory bank.
I know.
Oh God. Well, I have to think of, I think also String of Passion moments because we toured together with Ayreon with String of Passion in the beginning.
Nice.
So he co-wrote the first String of Passion album with me. We wrote it together, and then we had, for like a year and a half, we had some shows in which he also joined us on stage.
Wow.
And that was incredible. And among those shows, we played one in Mexico City.
Nice.
And that was the first time for me that I performed on my, like native country, but with that band. And we have in Mexico this thing in which we can be a little bit, they call it malinchistas, which means that we have certain preference for things that come from abroad. So for me, it was kind of like strange in like how are people going to receive me, who is very Mexican, but coming with this band. And it was just, because I know, listen, we talked about the difference in audiences. The audiences in Europe are very attentive, but very quiet in general. Not all of them, but audiences in Latin America are madness.
Oh my God, wild.
We will give you every ounce of energy that we have.
Yep.
So when we were doing that show, I didn't know how to react, because it was insane. It was 3,000 people, and they were all going for it. So I almost had to, like restrain myself a little bit so that I could, keep everything under control with the singing. And it's just wild. It was so amazing. It's like this overload of good vibes and good energy. It's incredible. Yeah.
You must be dying to want to perform in front of Mexico again then, eh?
Yes, well, that's always amazing. Always amazing. I had the fortune to go there, back there with Stream of Passion and also with Mayan. And in 2019, actually, we went there for the last time. And it's just incredible. People are so nice. And I hope so. I hope we had the chance to go again.
Well, that's awesome. I have to go check out this album from start to finish, but I did hear a lot of songs from it. It's incredible. I bet you're super excited to get back with the Ayreonauts and the Stream of Passion fans for your tour. That's incredible. That's kind of the chapter on this. I wanted to transition now to a little bit of your vocal coaching.
Yes.
Because I think that's so impressive coming from here. There's not really much music schools itself, let alone an actual metal factory itself that's producing all this incredible music. It's been going for 10 years now, so congrats on that.
Thank you.
Have you been the vocal coach the whole 10 years?
I have. We have
Wow.
So basically it's not necessarily like university level if you think of educational system, but more like a technical school, like a technical high school kind of level, I guess you could compare it.
Okay.
Like a study that you would do, or technical university. I think that would be probably the most equivalent level. But yeah, so we have it's 3 years long, and I teach the first and the second year, and I've been doing it from the beginning. Yeah, so it's incredible. We actually had a reunion event not so long ago, to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Metal Factory, and they had some bands of some of our alumni performing, and they were incredible. Some of the other teachers performed as well. It was super nice, and we got to see a lot of the people that graduated. A lot of students came back. And it was just super nice. So many good memories.
That must be so rewarding to see some of your fruit come to fruition, because like you're putting in so much into, because I know you're a perfectionist. So I'm sure every person that comes to you, you're really taking them in as your own, and you're wanting them to succeed a lot. So I'm sure seeing some of the success has been such a reward for you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just so amazing to me to be able to give someone the tools to express themselves to the full extent of their emotional capacity, and it sounds a bit nerdy, but yeah, I'm very nerdy. And I think the technique has a lot to do with it. The moment that you work on some things and you are able to, let go of fear, maybe, am I going to reach that note, or am I going to be able to do this? And then you can just focus on doing what you want to do. I love that. That's amazing.
Is there still a wait list to get you as a vocal coach right now? I know last time we talked, it was about 3 months.
Yeah, no, it still is, but I am definitely gonna go back to it. I teach at the Metal Factory exclusively, but I'm gonna start again, indeed, to taking private students. I hope Later this year, after all of the shows have been done and I've gone on a holiday proper with my family, which I am definitely going to do.
Oh, so happy.
Then I am planning on opening some spots again. Yeah.
Great to hear. And another way that people can support you and have a lot of fun with you is your Patreon. You got 6 tiers there.
Yes.
And you have a song challenge that goes every month that I think is really cool. Your last song challenge was incredible. I can't wait to see what they get you next time.
Which one was the last song challenge?
Was that what we were talking about where it was like from the Fifth Sense or whatever, or this?
Oh my goodness, was that the last one? Well, no, I think that was the next to last one. Yeah, but that was insane.
Maybe I
it
missed
was
the
from the Fifth Element. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It was bananas. It's this movie, and I think we talked about it. There is this scene where you have an alien that is singing an opera aria from Lucia de la Mamour, but then it transitions into this like sort of electronic dance little part with this super intricate staccato passage that it's insane. You know, they made it with a computer because they made her sing all the loose notes and then they put them together like afterwards.
Right.
And I had to sing it for my patrons, but I love it, you know, because it really forces me to study and try to learn new things. That was tough. Yeah. But yeah, and actually we're doing a voting now for the next vocal challenge. And we have on the final round, it's going to be very interesting, The Essence of Silence by E.T.C, see if I remember.
Oh my gosh.
There's a song from Nightwish in there. God, Shoemaker.
Shoemaker? Oh,
The Sands from Blackbriar, or After the Storm from my good friend Diana. So it's one of those 4. That's the final. Those are the finalists for the voting. Yes, it's going to be fun. I think there is a good chance that I'm going to end up doing all of them because
I think so.
It has been suggested. So,
so how did people get into this song request? Like, how do they become a voter? Do they have to join one of your tiers, or is there a certain way that?
So basically, everyone can vote. Everyone can vote. We do this from time to time, and then I have a tier called Super Patreon, and everything above that, they get to send me the suggestions. So there's people that get to send in the songs, but then everyone gets a vote. And I split them because we have a lot of suggestions, and then some songs can like sink into the darkness.
True.
So we had 4 pre-voting rounds, and this is the final.
I might have to join that tier because I want to see you sing some Opeth.
Yeah.
Opeth! Oh, wow. I would love that.
That's what I know. Some Ghost of Perdition. Oh my God, I already see it.
Yes.
Right?
Well, if The Essence of Silence wins, I already said that I'm going to do both the
you got to do Mark's part
singing
too.
Parts and the grunts. Yeah.
Because you can, and like
not at the same time because that's impossible.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
Could you imagine? I know. So before websites like Patreon, did you find it difficult to find ways to let your fans support you above music sales and merch, and like just to get more in touch with them, interactive?
I think I mean, even I was remembering this because I was browsing the old like back catalog of Street of Fashion to gather some information to write like bios and press releases and stuff. And I don't know if you know, but there is this website called like Web Archive or something, and then you can browse older versions of websites.
Oh, really?
And then I could see how the Street of Fashion site looked back in 2006 when we launched the first album, and I remember that I programmed the whole thing. And with my previous band Elfonia, I also programmed the whole thing together with the keyboard player Alejandro. So we had made not only a little web shop for our band, but also a forum. And I remember very explicitly that we had a lot of people in that forum. Back in the days of forums.
Right.
And people actually interacted with each other. And I think even from back then, we had I mean, it was tiny, but it was a tiny, nice little community, you know. And especially after I had recorded for the first time with Ayreon in The Human Equation, we had more people also from Europe that discovered us and joined there. So even back then, we had already like a little online community. Yeah.
And you yourself are very techy as well. You work with, you're a business productivity consulting at Sogeti or is Sogeti or
Sogeti. That's actually my
Sogeti.
old employee. I've changed companies now, but my LinkedIn is not very up to date.
Oops.
But I work in IT, and it's something that I like because it allows me to fulfill this need for mental challenges that I kind of need in my life, and also to focus on the things with music that I really do want to focus on. So
right, yeah.
Balance can be hard sometimes, but it's worked so far. So.
I think it's been working good. Do you have any other side hustles that we should know about that you're into right now?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Actually, we have the ambition with my good friend Merel Bechtel to start an online music school. We have officially, and I'm very sorry to say, we have officially abandoned that project for now.
Too ambitious, or?
It's just too much work.
Too much time, yeah.
We came up with the idea in the middle of COVID where there was nothing else. And if we would have been able to build something before the lockdown ended, then maybe we would have had something by now, but we didn't manage. And now we're both immersed in our own camps. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So with that said, we're going to transition to a next segment here. I know we've already talked to you with our last interview, so I don't want to get like too into this to be too repetitive with you, but I wanted to have the ability to let everyone hear your discography that maybe hasn't heard everything that you've done. So we can quickly start from the beginning to all the way up to Stream of Passion here. So you started with Alphonia, like you were just mentioning, and it's a Mexican progressive folk band running from 2001 to 2006. You produced the self-titled Alphonia yourself back in 2005. And with someone like, you're saying that you have imposter syndrome still, this long ago, what gave you the encouragement to actually go and get your debut going to start? Because I know you've been singing forever, but like, what made you say, hey, I can finally do this, let's go for it?
We had a group of people that I think it just felt very nice and very right to work with. And I think all of us, I mean, well, I don't think I can speak for all of us, but I know that personally, I've always had a very visceral necessity of producing music. Like it's just, it's really a need. I had a band before that actually, but we just released like an EP on cassette tape. That's how old I am.
Was that the band that you're with your friends that we were like 17 and you're the bassist?
Yeah, I started as the bassist. Yeah.
There you go.
But the band was called Hydra, and from the moment that band split up till we actually formed Elfonia, I think it was like a year that we didn't have any shows and we didn't perform and we didn't write any music, and I was so miserable. I couldn't go to a concert because I would get literally mad, jealous at the people on stage. It was so weird, Marcela. But yeah, it's just I've always had this like urge, like I need it. I need to perform and I need to sing. I think it all like stems from for the longest time not really being able to express my emotions in any other way. So that was the only outlet. So it became a sort of like necessity. So it wasn't a question like, should we do it? Should we not do it? Like, I had to.
Yeah, it's a need. It's your lifeline. It's your passion. What gives you meaning and purpose. And I'm glad that you found it and kept going with it, because so many people don't go with their passion. They find the easier route that maybe is a quicker success at first, money-wise or something. So I'm glad you did. And I'm sorry for having that mix, because Hydro technically was the first band that you're saying, because that was in 1999. And then 2001 was Alphonia. And then in 2003 is when Ayreon reached out to you. We've kind of already elaborated on that.
20 years ago.
That is still very crazy, because like you're saying, that was a monumental moment for you where you felt appreciated, but also gave you the passion to keep going, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to move more into the light. It's getting dark.
We always forget it's 8 hours ahead over there. Also, thank you. We've been going already for 1 hour and 20, and I really appreciate you giving us time again. I know time goes quick with us.
Yes.
You joined the band The Human Equation, where you were becoming the wife as the character. I think it's really cool that Ayreon always has like some story that he's trying to portray out. I think that's actually what makes you guys look so much more animated too when performing, because there is like that role that you're embodying as well.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but that's totally right. There is definitely an element of theater to it, I suppose.
Oh yeah, big time.
Absolutely.
especially when you have you like announcing every song and all that. Like, so in 2005, you acted as sole lyricist for Ayreon's project Stream of Passion, as we were talking about, and the debut album was Embrace the Storm. In 2007, Lucasen left, and you became the leader, songwriter, and composition of the whole band. Thank God it's back. What was the ultimate deciding decision to bring back Stream of Passion? I think we were talking last time that you guys were talking around the friends, like at a barbecue or something like that.
Yeah, we had a barbecue at Dion's place. He lives like, I think like 5 minutes away from here, and we had a barbecue with our friends, and we were the two ones left at the end of the day. And I think it was still pretty much lockdown, or half, like you could only have X many people at your place and stuff like that. And I think I mentioned like at some point, like, no, you know what, I wouldn't mind, doing a couple of shows with Stream of Passion again. And I didn't think that he would be interested. We said like, no, actually, I wouldn't mind it either. So that's how it all started, like, but then we said like, okay, but it has to be fun. It has to be like this. We had a list of ideas of things like, okay, but we really want this to go like this and this and this. I'm like, oh, sure. Okay. So we talked to the rest of the guys, and the rest is history.
It's incredible. I think with this EP only having 5 songs that like aren't like incredibly long songs or anything like that, it's actually gonna make your fans want more, because I know I already want more after hearing those 2 songs. And like I hope you have more ideas for moving forward with Stream of Passion, but I know that's for another time.
Yes.
So
let's just release this one and then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll get there. So in September 2016, you independently released your first solo album, Unprecedented and Through Your Eyes, in 2018. You also had an EP called Found in 2015, and you also mentioned on bands that you are currently in that you're working on stuff for your solo career as well. Is there anything we should know about that? Is it coming out soon?
No, not yet. I think I need to round up the project that we're working on right now.
Yes.
Because Ayreon is huge, and Stream of Passion shows are going to be huge as well. But I think I definitely, I think now, for the longest time, I've had the intention of writing an album about the whole being diagnosed with cancer experience.
Yeah.
Not so much the resolution, because I think there is definitely some of the lessons learned and the positive aftermath is reflected on these songs that we have right now.
Yes.
But I think till this moment I haven't really dared look into the actual experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that for the longest time I think I've been wanting to write about. And the funny thing is, I think all the songs are already in my head, but they just have to come out. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
well, we hope it does come out, and congrats for over 3 years being cancer free as well.
Thank you.
That's
I'm gonna knock on wood just in case.
Knock on wood for that. No, of course.
Thank you.
Also, you joined Mayan full-time in 2017 after performing with them since 2013. Mark's one of my favorite guys ever, at least from watching in videos. What made him reach out to you? Did he tell you, or did you were you friends with him already? You were just talking about it?
Well, I think it was Frank, the guitar player, who initially reached out to me. No, that's not true. So Antagonize, which is the second album from Mayan, they recorded and it was produced by Joost van den Broek, who also produces String of Passion.
The keyboardist, right?
Yeah, the keyboardist from Ayreon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also one of my best friends. Very happy
cool.
to call him one of my best friends. And he already, I already recorded backing vocals for other albums with him in the past. So when Mayan was producing Antagonize with him, and they had some choir parts and they didn't have like a full choir, but then Yo suggested hey, why don't we have Marcela layer some of the choirs, because I do that also for other bands, so that it sounds a little more massive. If you only have software choirs, it can sound a little bit fake, but if you add multiple real vocals, then it's that can be nicer.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, and they loved it, and they ended up asking me to record 2 very tiny solo parts on that album, and that's how I got in touch with them on the first place.
Wow, and you had a tour with Mayan this year, correct?
Yeah. We had some shows that we still had to play from before COVID, actually. So
they're makeup ones or something?
Yeah, there were still makeup shows. Yeah.
Right. Wow. I love Mayan. I think that's the first time I saw you growl, and I never expected to see that. So it just shows your vast vocal skills here. And
thank you.
Absolutely. You also had a couple of releases that were Loneliness Anthem 1 and 2, which is a song of death, and a song of pain made during the pandemic, which you've talked about was kind of a really hard time for a lot of artists, especially people that need to have that live crowd as that feedback and just the energy that you get from it. So I'm glad that you got some cathartic songs out of that. And also you've been a guest singer for 20 plus bands, which is incredible. You've been around because of your talent, and some of the bands that stand out for us on our channel is you've been with Revamp, you've been with Epica, Star One, Dear Mother. You just did a Dear Mother of the Heart. And that was incredible as well. I think that band's very underrated and they need more support. So having people like you go and support them is incredible.
I agree.
Because I'm pretty sure the guitarists...
I think it's just a matter of time. They
yes.
I think they're at some point they're gonna get the attention that they deserve, which is a whole lot.
They deserve a lot. And the guitarist, is she the guitarist of Mayan as well?
Yes, so Merel Bechtel formed Dear Mother, and unfortunately, she just recently decided to leave Mayan to focus on Dear Mother, which is a decision that all of us understand. But she's brilliant, and also a really good friend. So
right on. I noticed it's getting dark here. Do you have much more time at all, or?
I think if we spend another 10 to 15 minutes, it should be fine.
Sounds good then. All right, so we'll transition to a couple of kind of quick answer type of things, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
Okay, sounds good. So how about you do these ones right here?
Awesome. So I'm going to take over because I haven't asked some questions in a little while. So just to quickly wrap up, some questions that we have. If you had a child, what would the first instrument that you would want to introduce your child to, with being someone who teaches?
I think I would just most definitely unconsciously be singing all the time, So it would probably, I assume that we would just be making silly noises, and that's already, first introduction to singing lessons you can have. So I think it would probably be singing. Yeah.
Singing.
I like that. Another question we had, so with the quick answers, is what made you want to get into IT consulting? I think you did answer this one already, which
maybe do the next one then.
Yeah. You said you don't really like traveling alone, but if you did and you got to fully immerse into a place that you traveled to, where would be somewhere you would travel alone to?
Well, I am already going to Japan with someone, so I think that's great because that is something very intriguing to me. But I think that I would also at some point like to go to Australia.
Australia, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know all that much about it. I just know that there's a lot of very cool prog bands coming from Australia. So I don't know.
Yes, there is.
Next question would be, what is your main goal when starting the podcast with Diane called Are We Better Friends Yet?
Honestly, personally, I just really like the idea of us talking and getting to know each other better. Like really. Absolutely. And that has actually 100% been the case. I think we are absolutely most definitely better friends for it. So that's really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's because until that moment when we sort of like forced ourselves to talk about, oh my goodness, I'm getting tangled here. Hold on. To talk about very specific topics that we never talked about, then yeah, I think we've really learned a lot about each other and we can appreciate each other way better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we better friends yet?
I think so. I think so.
Perfect. And you've already answered this question. We've actually talked about it a lot with experiencing imposter syndrome. How do you kind of combat that imposter syndrome?
I don't know if I'm actually combating it.
You're just living through it.
I'm just living through it. No, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I have to admit, listen, this is who I am now. I'm very honest. I do need some form of external validation in order to but I mean, some things like I have been able to overcome it just by sheer working on things so hard that I think I cannot deny it anymore. Like, for instance, I think, and I hate sounding arrogant, but I think I'm a really good singer. And I think I can sing, I think I can sing pretty much everything. If not immediately, then I can work on it so that I can sing it. So feeling that confidence, that I can say that, it helps a little bit. But I don't know if that should be the solution, because that just means that I've worked my ass off to I should be able to be happy with whatever I can do right now, and that's it. And age, I guess, old age, being old and wise also helps.
Well, with your wisdom,
caring list,
Marcela, you actually really helped me so badly. I was getting I just became a father for the first time. I have a 6-month-old. I am a stepfather to a 13-year-old. We just moved away. We're living with her mom. So I got like a mother-in-law. I'm also trying to like build into my relationships as well. I'm starting a YouTube channel, blah, 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 blah. And I never put time aside for my fun. Something you taught me was it's okay to have a little bit of fun. And because of you, I now... Yes, I now have it.
Are you playing Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Ah, good for you.
So thank you, because I wasn't giving myself enough play time, even if it's just 30 minutes an hour. But so that has helped me so much be a much better husband, friend, brother, son, everything. Now I can kind of relax a bit more. And also, this is one of the best games ever made, maybe the best. I just want to, like hands down, I feel your pain of never wanting to finish it and like just prolonging the journey. Because obviously it's a great game, I think that's without saying. What's been one of the funniest or coolest contraptions that you've made in the game?
Oh, I'm so boring. I haven't gone into the journey of like actually uh building stuff inventing stuff for myself in the game.
Right.
I've just Googled, and there's a plethora of amazing contraptions on YouTube, and I just found like the
Right.
most efficient ones that would cost me the least amount of sonite, so that I could move as fast as possible. That's my jam.
Good. But
The hover bike all the way.
all the way, right? But I just wanted to share, like, thank you for letting me know that even someone as busy as you can still put a little bit of time aside for these amusements.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
you
everyone,
have to.
yeah. But sometimes you get so caught up, and when you're trying to pay bills and you're going week to week, sometimes it's
Yeah.
you forget you got to relax a little bit and have some fun. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. We had a whole conversation after our last interview with you, where I was like, if Marcela has time to play Legend of Zelda, you have time to play Legend of Zelda.
No, listen, I learned this the hard way. I mean, I had to learn it in the context of rehabilitating from chemotherapy. So that's kind of like, you want to learn a lesson? Here you go.
No kidding. Slow down.
I had to, because it's, I mean, have I learned it? I'm not sure, because this year I have, battled with myself, trying to do too much and feeling like to the point of almost feeling like I'm burning out because of it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like there has to be a balance always. Otherwise, it's just gonna come and bite us in the ass eventually.
Yeah, it does. And so thank you, because I was pretty burnt out when you first saw me. So that's kind of what I mean. Like, I'm doing a little better now after these 2 months that we've had. And that really has helped me just to be able to show everyone like, how good this game is, because I'm a nerd too. So it's nice to share that with you. Something I wanted to ask real quick before we wrap this up. Also, you were mentioning you like soccer or football, wherever you want to call it, from the Netherlands. Do you really like soccer, or is that more just like one of the sports you enjoy watching?
Can I be very honest with you? I used to watch a lot of soccer back in the day when I was living in Mexico with one of my best friends, because we thought a few of the players were good looking. But Gateway, we really enjoyed watching the matches, and I used to go actually to some matches as well with her. And one of my exes was also a lot into football, and so soccer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I used to follow it, but nowadays I don't follow it all that much, I have to admit.
Hey, that's fair.
I mean, if there's a World Cup or European Cup, then maybe I will watch it, and it's I can get invested, but I'm not actively following it. Now I'm just in Hyrule looking for bubble frogs.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick then. What's your favorite and least favorite character from Friends?
From Friends?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel very invested with all of them.
All of them.
But yeah. I think I like Phoebe.
I love Phoebe.
It's just
you give me Phoebe
she's
vibes.
Just very kind. Really? Oh, I appreciate that. She's just very kind. I really appreciate her kindness.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind and speaks her mind, but in a way that you're like, oh, thanks, Phoebe. And then you think about it a little bit later on. And you're like, wait, what did Phoebe say to me?
Wait, what? What do you mean? Yeah.
Maybe the next song I should try to get you to cover a Smelly Cat then.
Yes.
I'm gonna absolutely do that.
Please.
Shouldn't be that hard.
It's only 3 chords, she said.
It's only 3 chords.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up now, we respect your time. Thank you so much. Time blows by with you. You're really thoughtful with your answers, and we really do appreciate that, because so many of our viewers adore you and they want to hear every word, even when you don't think it's needed. Like, we want to hear all the intricacies. So thank you so much for elaborating. Is there anything you want to bring up to our supporters that I didn't have the chance to let them know about, or like, did I miss anything? Or
I think we talked about quite a lot of things, but
everything.
But if anything, thanks for listening and check out our music, and I hope you like it. And you know, that's it.
That's all good. And with everything led up to September, you have kind of lined up. After September, you got your holidays. Is there any more music coming out this year outside of that we should be anticipating?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna manage to do anything else, to release anything else this year. Well, I have a couple of ideas. Maybe not original music, but maybe some sort of cover compilation of sorts. But we'll see.
We'll see. I like that. That.
That's okay. So my birthday is August 8th. So this has been the best birthday treat I ever could get.
Oh my goodness, happy birthday already.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to ask you to like sing happy birthday or anything like that. Like, cheesy, so like don't worry. But thank you. Like it does mean a lot that this is one of the best presents I could ever get. You've inspired me to actually make music as well and compose my own music. And I'm starting to write down my own lyrics and all that too, and using my acoustic back there. We appreciate you with all the bands that you are in and that you have been in and have supported. We call you the X Factor for a reason. I think you are a beautiful warrior. You're showing your gold fissures completely amazingly. And thank you for giving us this opportunity for this interview again.
It's my pleasure. It's been fun again, and very nice seeing you guys again. So thank you.
Nice seeing you again.
It's great seeing you. Would you like to see Oliver at all before we head out?
Yeah.
I will go grab him.
Okay.
I will be right back.
We'll go bring the two boys then.
Oh, that's so nice. How does it feel to be a father?
It's
Is your life upside down?
Yeah, like because of that whole imposter syndrome feeling. I grew up with no dad. I had step parents, like I had a stepfather, so I never got comfortable saying dad. Now being with Alanna, I've had her kid, Avery, who's 13. I've known him for 2 years now. He's been step kid and I'm stepdad. And so I never had to use father yet.
Right.
So now having a kid, you say you want it kind of because of the roles, but then once it's come, it's like, man, I'm not as patient as I thought I was. I really need to work on myself. I thought I had this figured out and I was ready for it. So it really has flipped the whole world upside down, not thinking about how much you need babysitters just to do the simple things in life again. Like you can't go for a shower with your wife because you were used to doing that, but now you need a babysitter to even take a shower with your wife, and like all those small things you forget about, and just how like sometimes you almost miss not having a kid because of your selfishness of being able to play games whenever you want. And like, so I had to realize I'm more selfish than I thought I was. I'm less patient than I thought I was. So I've had to really work on myself, but it's really been the best thing for me as well, because now Avery, who doesn't have a father, he wants to be a Percival, which is my last name. He's actually like growing up as a man. Look at the beautiful baby we made together.
Look at the baby you made.
And he's in a Zelda throw.
That's incredible. Hello.
Say hi.
This is Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
And he just turned 6 months. Hey, buddies.
Hi, look at him. He's so happy to see you.
So he is precious. He gives us meaning. He likes everything on my head.
Yes.
He's a metal head himself. And anytime we throw on metal, he's rocking with us. So
raising him right, very nice.
We're raising him right. But thank you again so much. I hope is Monkey by you too right now, or?
Well, he's not being very exciting. He's sleeping.
He's sleeping. Okay. Well, yeah,
just
buddy.
Hard
this
staring.
is what we do.
Just hard staring.
Hello.
You say hi, Marcela.
Oh, he's gorgeous. Well done. You have made a beautiful baby.
Thank you so much. He's pretty happy. We're hoping for one in a few years again, but we're going to enjoy this one for the time we have him.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely.
So I'm glad you got to meet Marcela Ollie. Marcela, I'm glad you got to meet him as well. I hope you had a good time with us.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure. We're going to now sign off, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. I hope you have a
Thank you,
lovely,
Marcela.
lovely day.
You as well. Take care,
Take
Marcela.
Bye.
Bye. That was Marcela Bovio at our podcast, episode 8 for Storytime with E.T.C. Hope you guys had a good time. We found out so much about this amazing person. You all are beautiful warriors, though. Wear your scar as a badge. Your history defines you. You'll find someone that loves you. Love yourself as well. We are now exiting the rabbit hole, folks.
Thank you, everyone, for being here with us. Peace and love.
God bless y'all.
Take care, and bye for now.
And we hit record, y'all.
We hit record.
We hit record.
It's just hard staring.
I know.